Hey guys, Sleepy here, and welcome to our brand new discussion vlog. The topic for today's video is about full set collecting. This is talking about people who go for a full set for a particular console, whether it's regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Xbox, the 360, PlayStation 3, Switch, whatever it is. I've known a lot of people over the years who have gone for full sets for various consoles. Some people I know have completed them. Some people had been working on them, but eventually they decided to stop on that goal because of different reasons. So I thought this would make a great topic for us to discuss today. So feel free to chime in. Let me know your guys' thoughts on today's topic. I would also like to know if you guys are you guys currently going for a complete set yourself for a certain console? Or have you already completed a set? I'd love to hear your guys' stories, your journeys with it. Maybe you guys went for a set and then you decided you didn't want to keep the set and you sold it off. Or maybe you were trying for it, but it got to be too expensive, or just you didn't really enjoy it anymore. I would love to hear your guys' stories as well on there. And I'm going to share with you guys mine, because I actually do own a complete North American original Xbox set that I completed years ago, which is over 900 titles. I actually have over 1,200 in my collection if you count all the variants that I have. And I do have some Japanese, some PAL, Korean exclusive titles in my collection. And it's grown quite large over the years. And at the end of the video, I am going to show you guys a visual representation on my game wall, just so you guys can see how large that collection is and how much space it takes, just to give a little visual representation. But I thought this would be a great topic for us to discuss, because I've known people on both sides of the fence when it comes to full set collecting. I've known people who are really big into it. They wanted to go after for a particular console, whether they chose Nintendo or Sega consoles, Sony consoles, whatever it is. I know there's some diehard fans out there who wanted to go for complete sets for a particular console. And then there's also people I know on the other side who are like, full set collecting is stupid. Why are you going to buy all these games you're not going to play? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your space? I think it's stupid. It's just waste. So I've seen people on both perspectives. I've even met people kind of in the middle. They kind of like it, but they can also kind of see that it can be kind of silly. So there are a lot of different perspectives when it comes to full set collecting. So I thought it would be a great topic for us to discuss. I have a little sheet here. I wrote down some talking points so I keep myself from losing my train of thought and getting lost. But the first thing was talking about when going for a full set is, I recommend, take the time to make this decision. Don't rush into this or be into a hurry. This isn't a simple whim. You're drinking with your buddies. Yeah, it'd be cool to get a complete PlayStation 2 collection and just kind of go on a whim there and just start collecting it. This is something you want to take a few weeks, maybe even a few months to really fully analyze that decision. What is this going to entail? How much time am I going to be devoting to it? You really want to make sure you put some thought into this decision, because this is a serious thing to think about, depending on the size of the console. If it's going for a console that has, a small library, not as much planning is going to go into it. But if you're going for, like me, with an original Xbox collection, you're going to have to buy like 900 games, or you're going to get like a PlayStation 2, you're going to need like almost 2,000 titles. Like, that's a big uptaking. That's a lot of games to buy, and that's something you definitely want to think about. So really decide, do I really want to go for a full set? I'm not, you want to go for it just because you saw that I have a collection or someone else has one online, because I've known plenty of people who tell me they wanted to go for a complete original Xbox collection, but they weren't really big fans of the Xbox, but they just thought it'd be a cool, fun thing just to do. And so I've met people like that as well. You don't want to be going after something that you truly don't want. So really ask yourself, do I want to take this up? Do I want to go after this goal of a complete set for a particular console? And then ask yourself, why do you want to go for a full set for any particular console? What's the motivation and reason behind it? Now, mine is that I absolutely love the original Xbox. It's my favorite console of all time. If I had to get rid of every console in my library and I could only keep one collection, it would be my original Xbox collection first, just because I love the console that much. Now, I originally hated it, but Halo's what made me fall in love with it. And then several years ago, I decided, it'd be really cool to just own every game that was released in North America for the original Xbox collection. That way I could play any game that they ever released here at any point. And when I was going for the complete set, it was dirt cheap. It's not like today's prices. A lot of these games that I bought for 50 cents, $1, $2, $2.50 are like 8, 10, 12. Even some games that I got for $2 are going for like $200 or $300 because there are some expensive titles out there now, like that. What was that? Outrun Coast to Coast. The Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast is one that's expensive. The Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, that Jurassic Park builder game. There's quite a few titles out there that have gotten pretty pricey. And even sports titles that I was getting for 50 cents or $1, I've seen at my local game stores $5, $10, $8, $15, $20 for sports games. So it's not cheap like it used to be. But when I was going for it, it was really cheap. And I've shared this story before, but at one of my local game stores, I actually got 150 original Xbox titles for $100. They actually threw in 50 for free. The guy made me a deal because he just wasn't selling original Xbox games at the time. And he said they just been sitting and sitting. I told him what I was going for the set, and he said he would help me out and hook me up with a deal. So like, you're just not going to get those kind of deals today at game stores anymore. So, you want to decide, why do you want it? I wanted it because I love the original Xbox, and so I thought it'd be awesome to have the full North American collection, and so that's what I collected. And it took me many years to do it. It wasn't something that happened overnight. And then, choosing the console that's right for you, that you want to have a full set for, again, it's going, like I said before, why do you want it? So you make sure that it's something that you really love and cherish, that it's not something that you're going to end up hating after a year or 6 months or something. Oh, God, why did I go for that? Make sure you choose the console for you with the right library size, too, because, well, how big is this full set you're going for? Is it like a Dreamcast collection, which I think that's like under 200 games? Or you're going for a PlayStation 1 that has, I think it's like 15 or 1700. Like I said, a PS2, you're looking at like 2,000 games, especially if you add in all like international titles into the mix. Original Xbox, you're looking at like a little over 900 titles. You really have to decide the scope of this full set you're going to go for and how much stuff you want to have in it. So you really want to just get that locked down. And then, are you going to be region based for your full set? Like me, I just chose North America. Or are you going to go for a worldwide set, meaning you want all the exclusive titles for the original Xbox? Or do you want the counterparts, meaning you want to have Halo, but you want to have the North American Halo? Do you want to have the PAL version of Halo? Do you want to have the Korean Halo, the Japanese Halo? I mean, you can get as complete as you want to get when it comes to full sets like that. So it really depends on how complete a set is to yourself with your own rules and standards. So are you going to stay in one region, or are you going to do the entire world and every single physical copy that's ever been released for original Xbox or PS2, whatever it is, you want one copy of everything, just however extreme you want to get. Understand, that when you do go for a full set, you're going to have games that you do not enjoy. You're going to have your sports games. You're going to have your kids' games like Mary Kate and Ashley's, your SpongeBob. You're going to have just really crappy titles like Drake and the 99 Dragons for the original Xbox. So just be aware, you are going to have shelf filler titles and games that you're probably never ever going to play. Now, some people do enjoy sports games. Like I have enjoyed playing some sports games. Like I do love the NBA 2K series. I do love the NFL Fever and some of the sports titles, the hockey games, and so there are some fun sports games out there, but some people don't really enjoy those. So do realize, you're going to have to spend money on games that you're never going to probably ever play in your life, a Barbie game or something. Sometimes I don't think people realize that those are the kind of stuff that's in these full sets. It's not just, wow, this low library's full of nothing but bangers, not a single shit title. That's completely the furthest thing from the truth. There are some shit games on the original Xbox, and every console has shitty titles, so you will be getting those if you're going for a full set. It takes real dedication and real careful planning to achieve the goal of a full set. So like I said about before, making sure that this is what you really want to do. Don't just do this on a whim. It takes a lot of time, planning, everything for this. So really make sure that this is what you want to go for if you plan to go for it. And do it because it's what you want. Don't do this because you saw my collection or some guy on Facebook or social media. Don't do it so you can brag on a video or just somebody, hey, I got a complete GameCube set, guy. Woo, look at me, I'm cool, just because we have a full set, you have a full set, you don't have a full set, doesn't make you better than anybody. Not having one doesn't make you better than anybody. You know, make sure you're going for the full set because it's something you want to have for yourself, not because you want to get it simply for the fact of collecting and because you see people in the original Xbox groups. Like, when I started going for my full set, I knew 5 people, just 5 people in these groups who either had the full set or were going for it. And over the years of me collecting it, and to this day, there's tons more people, and I've had plenty of people reach out to me who said they wanted to go for a set just because they saw me or other people go for it. And when you would press them a little harder about why they want to go for it, they really couldn't answer to you. It's like, do you like the original Xbox? Nah, it's okay. I just saw you do it, and I thought it'd be cool. So again, you know, make sure you're collecting it for yourself and not for other people. Beware of the FOMO, you know, feeling of missing out. Just because I have a complete set doesn't mean you need to, or someone else has one. And the addiction of social media and stuff, because that really can fuel your addiction to collecting and stuff. And I've talked about that in previous videos. You know, just be aware of that, because that is real and you can get sucked up into that. I've even been sucked up into that when it comes to like variant collecting and stuff. Understanding the costs of pursuing a full set, especially in 2024. If you were doing this years ago when it was dirt cheap, like when John Hancock was going after a complete NES collection back in the 90s, people were giving away titles. I mean, in the past, that's how I built up such a large collection, because I was buying games when nobody cared about them. You know, it was like when the new console came out, people didn't want the old stuff. So timing is very important, and right now games are so hot and high price that it's really hard to go for a full set without having to pay a ton of money. So just be aware, it's going to cost a lot. You know, you're not going to get an original Xbox full North American set I did for the same price, because you guys are paying 2024 prices, and I was paying prices years ago when it was like 50 cents a dollar, and even getting titles for free being thrown in bundles and stuff. You know, you're not going to get those kind of deals. So no, it's going to cost probably 5 times what I paid to go for one now. And there are some games I got for a couple dollars that are worth hundreds now. So that's something you really want to realize. There's also other hidden costs that a lot of time collectors don't talk about. Like, one big thing is time, because it takes a lot of your time going out hunting for this stuff. You're going to use up gas. You know, are you going to factor in the cost of gas driving to yard sales, to flea markets, to game stores? You know, hunting, you know, it's going to take a lot of time to do this. So are you really factoring in all those costs, the wear and tear on your car, everything? Let's say, you know, oh, I'm going to buy some stuff online. Well, you're also going to be paying a lot of shipping, because not everybody offers free shipping. So you got to factor in how much the game costs by shipping costs as well. So, you know, there are some costs in there that not a lot of collectors talk about when you're going for this stuff. So there are things you have with that. Another thing is, do you have enough space to display the full set? You guys will see in my video that on this game wall I have 6 shelves. The original Xbox collection takes up 4 shelves, complete shelves, and then started spilling over into a 5th one because of the variants and stuff that I have. Like, do you have the space to go for this particular set you're going for? You want to make sure you have enough space for it. You don't want to have you want to be able to display it, obviously, or you don't really want to have it just sitting in boxes in storage. What's the point then? Have a realistic idea of what to expect while going for a full set for a console, like what you're going to find out there, the difficult challenges you're going to have. Finding some titles are going to be easier than others. Your common games are going to be super easy, but there are some of those titles that are very low print run, very high price, and they're going to be hard to find for a good deal, and you might have to pay up for some of the titles. And do you really want to have to pay up $500, $1,000 for one game that's kind of shitty for a particular console? Because there are those games out there. There's some that are even higher priced than that. Like, do you really want to pay up for it? That's why you got to decide if that's something you want to go. And then, you know, understanding that it takes time to achieve this goal. This is not something you want to like do in a year, because you're going to spend a shit ton of money. You know, mine took several years to get complete. So you have to have a lot of patience and know that if you have enough patience, you'll eventually find these titles. And this can be a fun journey, but it can be very stressful as well, especially because of the financial part of it. You know, like how much money I'm dumping into this collection. Like, geez, I just spent $500 on sports games that I'm never going to play. Like, you have to really think about that. Like, man, how much am I spending on this collection going for a full set? And then watch out for variant collecting. because I got sucked up into this after I completed the set. I'm like, okay, I did the set, now what? Oh, let's go after variants. Let's get a copy that has a comic book in it. Oh, this one has a bonus music CD. This one came with a trading card. This one came with a mini strategy guide. This one came with a collectible figure. This one has a collector's edition. I mean, you know, this one has a sticker on it. Like, you can go crazy. This one has a disc where the Master Chief is reversed on the cover. Like, you can get absolutely crazy like I was, and I eventually had to stop myself because it was like, good lord, you know, I'm going to have 15 copies of every game here if I'm not careful. So be aware that you can then get sucked up into the whole variant collecting. Another thing I wanted to show was, you know, when it comes to like a complete set, like some games, like especially Original Xbox, came in combo carts that came packed in with things like the Star Wars Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds combo pack. So is this enough for your complete set, or do you need the single one like I did, where it's pack alone single on its own? There's also a Tetris World. So now, is this one considered the 2 games you need, or do you also need to have 2 other copies of them in the individual? There's a lot of different versions of this on the original Xbox that I have the single version, plus I have the double pack version. You know, is that something that you want to have in your collection? Do you see it complete to you by having just this double pack? Or do you have to also have it as a single game on its own? You know, you really have to decide that for yourself. Each person has to decide that. I wanted to have all of them as far as like the regular standalone copy and then the double packs as well. So that's something you'd have to think of for yourself as well. And then some of my tips, you know, I would recommend knocking out the most expensive games first and save the cheap games for last, because the cheap games are going to always be easy to get, but the harder ones just keep going up over the years, especially for specific consoles. So you want to try to knock those out first and then worry about the sports and filler titles later, because you can always get them at a later date. Sell off unwanted games from your collection, trade them in. You know, if you have stuff you don't really care about, you can sell that stuff off to help pay for games that you want. I did that this year for my Xbox 360. I sold a couple hundred titles this year and got quite a bit of money for them, and used that money to buy stuff I want. So you guys can, you know, sell off unwanted games from your own collection to help fund your full set. Don't be in a rush to complete the set. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. It shouldn't happen overnight. It'll save you money in the long run if you take time doing this set. You know, it's not a sprint. You know, it's a marathon. Take your time. I took my time on my original Xbox set. It took like 7 years to complete that set fully, so you don't have to do it overnight. And then understand, you know, it's okay if you want to drop out of doing the full set. I had a couple buddies who were going for the original Xbox collection, and they got pretty far into it, and then they just said, you know, this isn't really for me. I'm tired of the time it's taken, the money, and I'm going to sell off all the unwanted crap and just keep the games I want to have. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you're a quitter. You know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't feel bad. You remember, you're collecting for yourself, not other people. So if you have to drop out, you have to drop out. Nothing wrong with that. And I would say, personally, if somebody asked me, do I think people should go for a full set because I own one? I would say no. I definitely don't recommend it, especially in today's prices. Just go for the games you really want to play. Get your banger titles. Like, I love this Star Wars Clone Wars, so this would be a good one to add to your collection. Just get the good games. Don't get the crappy Madden titles, the Barbie titles, the Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 party game, whatever the hell they have out there, you know. Just get the good games is what I would recommend. And just collect that. Like, if I was to start collecting today, fresh, brand new collector, that's how I would collect. I wouldn't go for all the stuff I have now because it would be unattainable and just way too much money. You know, the days of the cheap games and dollar titles and 50 cents and finding them at thrift stores like crazy, those days are long gone. So I recommend not doing that. And then, what do you plan to do once you obtain that full set? Do you plan to play most of the games? Is this something you're going to have for a while, and then maybe you decide you want to sell off all the unwanted games and only keep the games you want to have? You know, were you just going for it for the fun of collecting it? Because I do know there's some YouTubers who have gone for full sets. They completed it, and then after a couple months, they decided to sell off the set and only keep the games they wanted. And of course, it upsets some viewers, like, oh, why did you waste our time doing that? And sometimes they said it's just for the fun of the journey of collecting. Some people just enjoy collecting. So, you know, what do you want to do with this collection once you have it complete? You know, what is your goals to do afterwards? And then finally, like, what do you plan to do with your full set when you die? Because we're all not going to live forever. You know, are you going to pass it on to your family? Are you going to donate it somewhere? Are you just gonna have them throw it in the trash? I mean, what do you have planned for your full set collection after it's done and after you're dead? Like, what do you have plans? You should always have some plans for that. I have plans for what's gonna happen to my collection. I told my wife just to sell all the stuff off, or our son. I said, and if his mother and I both died or something, I'd just sell off the collection and take the money and then use that to live on and get whatever you can for it. So you want to have a plan for what you're going to do with your full set if you do go for a full set collection. I definitely recommend having plans for that. Alright guys, now before we end the video, I'm just going to show you guys my full North American original Xbox set on the wall. I'm going to take you guys, just so you guys a visual representation of how much a full set takes up and what it looks like. So let's check out my full North American original Xbox set real quick. Alright friends, so we're going to take a look at my complete North American original Xbox set. I just wanted to give you guys a visual just to see how many titles are in there and how much space it takes up, which this takes up for me, takes up 4 complete shelves, and then it even spilled onto a 5th one up there behind those Xbox One titles. Now this does include all my Platinum Hits games, which the Platinum Hits games start on the 3rd shelf, right where that Xbox Music Mixer, the big pack I have there that was signed by the developers. That's actually where the Platinum Hits titles start. So if you were going for just the regular black label titles, you're looking at a little over 900 games for just North America. And if you were to add in all the PAL titles, exclusives, and the Japanese titles, Korean titles, you're going to sit well over 1,000 games. And you can see how much space it takes up. Now, I do also have a lot of variants, and I do have some exclusive titles from PAL and Japanese stuff here in my collection as well. But just to give you guys a little idea of like how much space a full set takes up, you can see it takes up a lot of space, and this is just one collection. Now imagine if you were to do PlayStation 2 that has like over 2,000 titles, especially worldwide, like you're talking a ton of games. So I just wanted to give you guys a little visual representation of what a full set looks like and how much space it really takes up, because this original Xbox collection of mine does take up a lot of space of the overall 6 shelves there. A majority of it is the original Xbox. And now on top of them, I do have stacked like Xbox 360 games, and I'll have some of my promotional items on top of the games. But just wanted to give you guys a little look at how much space a full North American original Xbox set takes up, and that's a lot. So just wanted you guys to check that out real quick. Alright friends, so I hope you guys enjoyed that look at my full North American original Xbox set. I do have a video up if you guys want to see each title in detail. I talk about the various variants that I have. Like I own 26 copies of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring game, because I went after this ridiculous, crazy trading card set that they have in there, and I have one of the rarest cards in that set is the One Ring from the Lord of the Rings. And I also have one that's sealed that has a random card in there. So I got a little crazy when it came to variant collecting. So if you guys want to check out, I'll have that video as a link to that video for you guys to check out. I do want to warn you guys, it is a long video because there's so many titles. But I do go over each individual title, and I'll show you guys, the names of them, and I'll tell you a little story of what if there's a variant or not in that collection video, so you guys would know what's in a full set for the North American original Xbox set. So I hope you guys enjoyed the look at it. I just wanted you guys to get that look and like, man, that's how much space it takes up and what a full set really looks like for some of the larger consoles. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though, so feel free, participate. Let me know in a comment, what do you guys think about full set collecting? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's something you want to do? Or do you think it's kind of stupid? Do you think it's a waste of money? Are you one of the, you're someone that's like, I only get the games I want to play. I don't buy all that filler shit. I don't fill my shelves with crap. I only want the best of the best, which is awesome. So let me know. Maybe you guys are going for a full set. Hell, maybe you guys already completed a full set. I would love to hear your guys' stories, what your journeys were like going for a full set. I said maybe you dropped out of it because I had a few buddies who did that. But love to hear your guys' stories when it comes to full set collecting. But I would love to hear from you guys, though. I thought this would be a great topic, and I love hearing your guys' opinions on these. So feel free to leave a comment. Would love to check it out. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy shall see you next time.